Mile High Hoops asks, who are your dark horses for all the major awards next season? This is interesting. The way I set it up was I did go look at betting odds, and I said that anyone I picked couldn't be laying. I didn't want to set just a specific payout. They couldn't be laying one of the 10 best odds. I wanted people who were outside of that. So let's start with coach of the year. I think Willie Green with the Pelicans. I'm not sure if he's dark horse enough, but with Zion coming back, he was my first pick. That was the one I gravitated towards. With Zion coming back, the progress the Pelicans showed on defense last year after their slow start, specifically in transition, even the fight they put up against Phoenix in to start the playoffs. I think this is a team that could be a top 4 squad in the West if they get enough games out of Zion Williamson. I'm not even saying 75 to 80, but like 60 plus. I also considered Mark Daigneault with the Thunder. And for anyone who cares, Willie Green is 16-1 right now to win Coach of the Year. I have Mark Daigneault, Jamal Mosley. They are both 100-1 to win Coach of the Year. And then Rick Carlisle is 80-1 to win Coach of the Year at the moment. I think the most interesting coach there is probably Rick Carlisle. Just he might have, I don't know, Daigneault with Oklahoma City. They can catch people off guard. And even Mosley, like now you have Paolo Banchero, Wendell Carter Jr., Jalen Suggs, Franz Wagner. There's like a real base for a team at that point. I don't want to have to pick between those three. Those are the 4 I immediately thought of. If Willie Green is too high end, he would be my pick. If you consider Willie Green too high end, I'm going to go with Mark Daigneault of the Oklahoma City Thunder. I might just be too high on them with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Lou Dort, Kenrich Williams coming back, and then Chet Holmgren, of course. Next up will be Rookie of the Year. Most interesting ones to me, the single most interesting one to me, actually, is Ty Washington of the Rockets. I just think he can wind up getting more minutes immediately. Plays bigger than he actually is. They still don't have, to me, their point guard of the future in Houston. And if you give him real run, I could see him putting up the numbers necessary to be in the discussion. Marjon Beauchamp plus 5,000 stood out as well. I don't know if he gets minutes with Milwaukee, but they don't have a ton of wings. And the Chris Middleton injury now throws a wrench into the plans. Maybe he sort of surprises everyone. We don't typically see a player from a team that good enter the discussion. I also have Bryce McGowens from Charlotte at plus 10,000. I don't know if they're going to play him, but that dude can score in all sorts of ways. And I was incredibly intrigued by him coming into the draft. And then I rounded out Jake LaRavia with Memphis at plus 6,000. I'm assuming they're going to plan on giving run to him in addition to Zaire Williams, just looking at their, and David Roddy as well, just sort of looking at them letting Kyle Anderson go. You also have the Jaren Jackson Jr. injury to start the year. Those are the names that popped up to me. I wouldn't make any of them my first pick. Ty Washington, though, would be the player from that group I'd single out most. Dark horse to win 6th man of the year. I have Bones Hyland with the Denver Nuggets, who just so we're clear, was not one of the top 10 odds layers. He's at plus 3,000. I get that he might be too high end for some since the Nuggets are going to be good and he just had a standout rookie campaign. But you have Jamal Murray, Michael Porter Jr. coming back. How much are they actually going to trust him? I'd argue a whole bunch after trading Monte Morris. There's also going to be times where maybe Michael Porter Jr. is injured or Jamal Murray has to miss some time too. And so you have to entrust him with a ton of offensive responsibilities. So I like him as a dark horse pick to win 6th man of the year. You also go back and like only 3 times over the past decade and a half as a 6th man of the year averaged under 15 points a game. He's someone that I feel like could come in, maybe only play, 20 minutes or something and pump in that many needed to win the award. And voters, do gravitate towards the volume scores in those situations. I also have in this discussion, Precious Achiuwa with Toronto did a great job on defense last year, showed a hint of a 3-point shot and being able to do some things around the rim. He's plus 5,000. Another Denver Nugget, Bruce Brown, plus 8,000. If he comes in and really changes their defense and continues to hit the 3 ball and maybe works sweet magic in the 2-man game with Nikola Jokic, I could see him getting some love. And then Otto Porter Jr. at plus 20,000 for the Raptors is also intriguing. Their bench was decimated last year. You probably can't count on OPJ to play more than 20 to 25 minutes, but if he's hitting his threes and really preserving the Raptors' positionless defensive integrity, keep an eye on him. Finally, I don't know what the Thunder rotation is going to look like, but Alexei Pokusevski, I felt like his game at points last year really started to come together, and this could be a higher end prospect than people really consider. If he's coming off the bench, absolutely keep an eye on him for 6th man of the year. Most improved player, I'm going to hand to God, Tyrese Halliburton was my pick. He's the second. He's laying the second best odds at plus 1,200. I guess I didn't realize how high nationally people were on him. I just assumed that many thought he'd fall short of, being a player who can make that superstar leap. I'm glad that they don't. I have my other choice here. My top choice is going to be Keldon Johnson with the Spurs at plus 4,000. The extension, I think, shows they are invested in him, and that means they're probably going to let him explore more on-ball offensive stuff. I like the progress he made as an off-ball offensive contributor. If he can add more directionality to his drives, just look out for that. And he does give you a ton of defensive malleability. I also have Alexei Pokusevsky here too at plus 8,000. Onyeka Okongwu in Atlanta at plus 3,300. I think they need to trade Clint Capella or John Collins to sort of pave the way for that to happen. But that guy is really good. And the way that he can defend a bunch of different positions, really, he's very portable in that end of the floor. And there's more to him on offense than I think people view him as. Yeah, he's a play finisher, but he has kind of might have a little floater game, can make these 1 or 2 dribble reads as well, in addition to doing all the usual rim runner stuff. And then finally, I have Cam Reddish here. This is a shot in the dark because I would like Cam Reddish to pan out. He's at plus 25,000. Okongwu, by the way, is plus 3,300. But the Knicks, I don't know how much depth they're going to end up trading for Donovan Mitchell, but there might just be more minutes for him if the Knicks trade Grimes, especially if they trade RJ Barrett. I don't know if he'll ever get the on-ball opportunities to maybe juice his odds in this discussion or juice his candidacy in this discussion, but just the uncertainty surrounding the Knicks and how his role could either grow within New York, or maybe if he's traded to Utah, who desperately need wings, and then they give him a crap ton of reps on the ball. I just have him circled here. Defensive player of the year. My top choice, and my top choice actually wasn't listed. He is off, was Aaron Gordon. You have KCP, Bruce Brown in Denver now. He's going to be in a more fitting role for himself. I could see him being viewed as the primary anchor of that Nuggets defense, even though he's not defending at the point of attack as much. And if they end up having a really good defense, I would just watch him. I settled on Herb Jones since we're warming up to these stymieing perimeter defenders. He's at plus 6,000. He's just fantastic. He's everywhere all at once at the same time. Incredible. If the Pelicans wind up having a substantially above average defense, which I think is possible, he's going to be cited, rightfully so, as the primary reason why. And then also just OG Anunoby. Felt like he took a step back as a team defender with Toronto last year, can still do some dirty things on the ball. And I think when he's going to be healthier and have just more succession to his game, where it's not a stop and start as the past season was for him with his availability, that goes a long way too. So he's at plus 8,000. Herb Jones is at plus 6,000. And then Aaron Gordon's off right now. Maybe he has odds somewhere else, but go looking for them and tell me what they are. Finally, most valuable player, my pick. Anyone who's watching on YouTube can tell by the thumbnail. Pascal Siakam is at plus 10,000. I'm actually surprised the odds weren't longer. We don't know for sure if he's going to be in Toronto, but I think you can bet against a Kevin Durant trade at this point, or at least say he'll still be in Toronto if they do acquire Kevin Durant. I think the Raptors could contend for a top 3 seed in the East. There's the Celtics and the Bucks for me if everyone's at full strength, and then it's wide open everywhere else. I am getting close to being incredibly high on a full strength Sixers team though. Pascal Siakam, all NBA player. This is someone who really improved his playmaking, the directionality on his half court offense, where he's just a lot more unpredictable. If the threes are falling at a reasonable clip and he continues to play the type of defense that he did last season, and the Raptors are really good, I think he'll end up getting a ton of shine in this discussion. I also have Paul George at plus 8,000. I have SGA, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander at plus 15,000, just to tell you how high I am on him. If he's going to have complete agency over the Thunder offense. If they wind up being a play-in team or something, I just wonder if there's should we consider him? And in a similar vein, this is just to show you how high I am on Cade Cunningham, plus 30,000. I don't think the Pistons or the Thunder are ultimately good enough for them to be in real consideration with the way that MVP votes work out. But I'm incredibly sky high on those two players. And I also have Rudy Gobert at plus 50,000. If the Timberwolves wind up being a dominant regular season team on the back of a dominant defense, he might get a lion's share of the credit more so than an Anthony Edwards or Karl Anthony Towns. And just when you inject a new player into that type of situation and you see that material, that wholesale change, he's going to have that anecdotal bump, and that does matter in the MVP discussion. One quick note on the MIP, I should have mentioned this before. I steer clear of second-year players, and so if anyone was looking for a Cade Cunningham or an Evan Mobley or Scotty Barnes there, some of those guys, were not dark horses, but I just tend to steer clear of sophomore. So those are my dark horse picks. I'll wrap them up very quickly. My top choice for each category. Coach of the year is, I'm going to stick with Mark Daigneault. I don't think Willie Green is high. It's Mark Daigneault or Willie Green. I'm already off the rails. Those will be my top two. Rookie of the year, Ty Washington of the Rockets. Sixth man of the year, Bones Hyland of the Denver Nuggets. Most improved player, Keldon Johnson, San Antonio Spurs. Defensive player of the year, I settled on Herb Jones of the Pelicans. And then MVP, Pascal Siakam of the Raptors. Thank you, everyone, for sticking with me through this mailbag. If you have not already, please subscribe to us. Hit the like and subscribe buttons on YouTube and find us, follow us, download every episode wherever you get your podcast. Until next time, and as always, I leave you with a shout out to the one, the only, the indelible Frank Ntilikina.